So what do you like to spend your gold on? For me, I'm saving up to get to 36,000. That's the current mission, so subscribe. Make sure you catch that video when I open up all those 36 packs. And I know people have done that before and they've opened up more than that, but this will be hard-earned daily quest, grind out gold for 36 packs. It's going to be kind of fun. But there's also some of the events that you can do for gold. I don't know if you guys have found a better, smarter way to earn more gold. If you prefer to spend your gold that way, let me know. Today's video, I'm going to reveal, or rather review, the Jungle Secrets deck that comes with the as a quest reward that you get. Now there's a lot of upgrades that you could make to this deck, but trust me when I say just play it how it comes. It actually flows pretty good, and you can kind of see where you might make some upgrades. I have one I'll review, link it to this video too, that I like to play, but actually it probably wins just about as much as the default deck does. So let's check it out. It comes with 3 Jade Bearers. It's a 1 casting 1/1. However, this is not a turn 1 play. So when Jade Bearer enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on another target Merfolk. So this is not a turn 1 play. Kumena Speaker is a 1 casting 1/1. This is your turn 1 Merfolk that you want to play. As long as Kumena Speaker, as long as you have an island or another Merfolk, it gets +1/+1. Notice there are no Mist-Cloaked Heralds in this deck. Some of the upgrades, you stick some Mist-Cloaked Heralds in there. There's a 3 Disperses, return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. Every once in a while this works to your advantage, but not very often. 2 River Sneaks. It's a 2 casting 1/1. It can't be blocked. When another Merfolk enters the battlefield under your control, River Sneak gets +1/+1 at the end of turn. Silvergill Adept is a nice card draw. It's a 2 casting 2/1. As an additional cost to this spell, reveal a Merfolk. So very important that you don't play this one second if you don't have another Merfolk. Like this is your first play of the turn. I've done that before where you've got like a Deeproot champion and a Silvergill Adept, and you want to play the champion first and then play the Silvergill Adept to get the bonus from the Deeproot champion. Doesn't work out very well because you don't have another Merfolk to reveal, and then this guy costs 5 mana. It's just too expensive. So hopefully I don't misplay that in the games to come. 1 Deeproot champion. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put a +1/+1 counter on Deeproot champion. Actually, not the Deeproot champion, Deeproot Elite is what I was referring to earlier. The Deeproot Elite is the Merfolk that whenever another Merfolk enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on any Merfolk you control. It's pretty awesome. 3 River Heralds Boons. 2 casting, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature and another one of those counters on a target Merfolk. You can target the same creature if they're both Merfolks. 3 Merfolk Mistbinders, which is a green and a blue, and it's a 2/2. Other Merfolks you control get +1/+1. Now the obvious upgrades here: 4 Merfolk Mistbinders, 4 Deeproot Champions, 4 River Sneaks, 4 Mist-Cloaked Heralds. But we'll play it as it comes. 3 Water Trap Weavers. When Water Trap Weaver enters the battlefield, tap target creature an opponent controls. That creature doesn't untap during its next controller's untap phase, only for 1 untap phase. They will untap after that. 1 Jade Light Ranger, a little out of place, but if you can get a 3 casting, 4/3 on the battlefield, you're in good shape. Explores twice when it comes on the battlefield. 2 Jungleborn Pioneers. These combo really nicely with River Sneak. For 3, you drop a 2/2, and then you get a 1/1 blue Merfolk. Kumena, Tyrant of Orazca. This is sort of like a Planeswalker without being a Planeswalker, where you can tap another Merfolk, and then he's unblockable. You can tap 3 Merfolk, and then draw a card, or you can tap 5 Merfolk, and they all get +1/+1. All your Merfolk get +1/+1, not just the ones you tapped. It's pretty cool if you can get that to start going off, but it's, by that point, you've won the game already. 1 Herald of Secret Streams, rather. Creatures you control with a +1/+1 counter on them, they can't be blocked. So this combos really nicely with Kumena, with River Herald's Boon, with Deeproot Elite. There's a few win conditions, and for some reason, this deck flows pretty good. Even though there's a lot of 1-ofs and 2-ofs in here, it works pretty good. Seafloor Oracle. Special note here: whenever a Merfolk you control deals combat damage, draw a card to a player. Draw a card. This is a must draw, not a may draw. So you'll have to, and that has resulted in some discards for me before. 2 Sleeps. Sleep is a great kill card. Taps all creatures a target player controls, and those creatures don't untap during that player's next untap step. Also, pretty good offense too. So if you play Sleep just to not take some damage the next turn. Sometimes you can sneak in for some damage even though you don't have much of an army to attack with. Also, 2 Tempest Callers, not as powerful because it just taps them once. But it's a forecasting 2/3 when he enters the battlefield, tap all creatures an opponent controls. Good old 9 Islands, 11 Forests, 1 Hinterland Harbor, which comes into play untapped if you control a forest or an island, and 4 Woodland Streams. Now, I think there's the top end of this deck is a little too much for my taste, but again, let's play this how it comes. Let's give it a chance and see if we can't squeeze out some wins with the good old. We'll do it in regular play mode. We'll grab. No, mermaids are real. That's my version of it. So we'll do Jungle Secrets first, because we all know mermaids are real. Let's see what we got. DP Ganote. Let's see how this goes. This deck ends up being pretty susceptible to hard removal. Although this is a pretty sweet starting hand. Well, a little slower than I'd like it to be, but I'll take it. If this was the other dual land that comes into play untapped, then I could drop Kumena Speaker turn 1. No, I'm doing it anyway. So I'm going to go with Forest. Kumena Speaker, he's a 1/1. And then next turn I can drop a Mistbinder and he's a 3/3. But as always, every time you play Jungle Secrets, I mean, it's like a 95% chance you will get the mirror match. Is what it is. It's just hard to not see that happen. So here we go. The good thing is there's not a lot of removal in this deck, so I can just freely attack. And this is not a deck that you block with very often, so a lot of times people just end up taking the damage and it's a race to 20. And see, luckily I drew this island, so now I can get all my merfolk out there sooner, and a lot of times that's how you win. You win the race. Alright. Let's see if he saves that Kumena Speaker as a blocker. He does. So I think I'm going to take advantage of it. I'm going to tap him down. I'm going to hit him for 3 again. We don't want to attack with a Mistbinder. We'll just send Kumena Speaker after him. He's probably not going to block. Most people just eat the damage with this deck. It's kind of strange. So now next turn I'm going to use River Herald's Boon as a combat juke. So I'll play my island just because I want the 4 mana, the two islands, 2 forest split there. And I'm going to send my Water Trap Weaver and Kumena Speaker after him. And when he blocks or not, I'm going to hit River Herald's Boon on the appropriate merfolk there. So if he game blocks, right, so he could make this Silvergill Adept a 3/2. And then, yeah, see what he's planning? I was going to save it as a blocker. But I am prepared to River Herald's Boon. I could even throw my Jade Bearer's counter on my Merfolk Mistbinder and make it a 3/3. I'm going to go ahead and do that, because this is a critical mass deck. Whoever gets there first wins, right? So that's how this works. And we're going to gang block. And we're not going to game block. I'm going to attack with everything. In the event that he gang blocks, I'm going to River Herald's Boon, probably my Mistbinder once, to kill both of his creatures, so he's not even going to block at all. And we are going to come after him pretty hard here. And he's at 3, so if he starts dropping sleeps, we could be in trouble. If not, he could be in trouble. I mean, he doesn't know that I just have land. There we go. Now they don't untap. He doesn't have the damage just yet, but we need something here. Okay, that's good. And so we'll just keep his big boy tap down here and play a tap land. Chart of Course goes real nice in this deck, especially when you put all the unblockable merfolk in there. and they sneak in for 1 and 2 damage, doesn't matter. You chart a course, draw more cards. Curious Obsession would be great. Really great. I've seen that a lot of times where my opponents anyways will drop like a Mist-Cloaked Herald, who's a 1 casting 1/1 that's unblockable, and then put a Curious Obsession on him. Just keep attacking over and over again. You can't block it. Another sleep, which I'm not super worried about yet. Well, shucks, that could end the game. Boy, I don't want to block with a Mistbinder, but I'm going to have to. See, if I had a sleep, I could have lived. Boy, this is tough. So he's going to have to come at me and do something. If he's got a Mistbinder? Not a Mistbinder. Well, even a Mistbinder would do it too. Or a Tempest Caller. So he doesn't have a Tempest Caller, doesn't have the mana for a Tempest Caller, but he could play a Mistbinder, which would spoil the party real quick. I love Sleep. Sleep is a great card. Oh, there it is. See, that's game. So Disperse just won him the game, even though it looked like it was going pretty good for us. And this looks like an exact mirror. He's playing Jungle Secrets just how it comes too. Nothing too crazy. It's like I said, 95% of the games you're going to get the mirror match, and they pretty much come down to almost the play. Who's on the play versus who's on the draw. Sometimes what kind of cards you get, you know, what you end up drawing into, but that's a heck of a gamer handle right there. Okay. Well, that's pricey. But I'll keep it. I will keep it indeed. So I could get... Oh boy. Oh, okay, so if this is going to be a Dimir discard deck, that's not going to go well. Although my speaker will be a 3/3. I don't think he's going to block. I could disperse him if he gets big. He's not going to block with his defender. See, nobody uses this as a blocker. This is an attacker. There he goes. So what's he going to take? I would grab the Jungleborn Pioneer just because it's the next playable card. I don't think any of this other stuff does me too much good. Although he might be afraid of Tempest Caller. Disperse? Okay. Alright. Okay. I'm going to do the Woodland Stream now and come after him for 3. Of which he's not going to block. He's planning on getting this to a 5/5 quickly and attacking me with it. And that's the move he's trying to counter. He's trying to take my Disperse away. Well, okay, that's great. Thanks, dude. There he goes. That's why he took the Disperse, because he had more thought erasures. This is the next deck that I want to build. Is that this Dimir deck? Okay, I've got to get in for some unblockable damage. So I think I'm going to drop the River Sneak first. And then we'll see what he does. Oh, he can block with that 4/4. That's a misplay. That's my bad. I did not realize that was a 4/4 already. There we go. So this will pump up my River Sneak to a 3/3, and we'll swing in unblockable. What are the odds that we can Tempest Caller next turn and hit him for a few? 6, I think, is what we'll swing in for. It'll leave him at 5. And if we start drawing anything but land, we might be in pretty good shape here. He's a little Mana Star there, so... Yep. Okay, let's cover everything. Might as well. But once again, we got the jump on our opponent, but we might be going a little too fast and not saving enough blockers. picked up another land. I don't have any graveyard synergy, so that's kind of an interesting choice. Yep, we're going to pay 5 for this guy. It's an island, isn't that terrific? So, he knows full well that he can attack and gain 3 life here next turn. No, he would be at 6. I will need one of my tap outs, or he's already handled one of my Tempest Callers. That's Price of Fame. Is it expensive Price of Fame? Now he's got a 5/5. Oh, he does gain a life with Whispering Snatch. Oh, okay. Alright, more land. More land indeed. This is one of those times where I think the default deck has a little too much land in it. Now, here we go. So now he's going to start swinging in with the flyer. He'll just surveil me to death. I'm going to hang on to this. Well, there's a risk of getting it thought erasured, so I better play it. I'm going to play it on my hexproof token, just in case he's running a Chupacabra. I already know he's running Prices of Fame. Now, if I happen to draw I think it's the Herald of Secret Streams that makes my creatures with counters unblockable, he would then be unblockable also. And I'm going to do this also for my 2 Jade Bearers. Now, I know that I'm doing instant spells on my turn, but his discard game could be too strong. He might have disinformation campaigns, he might have more thought erasures. So I don't want to run the risk of holding something and then having to discard it, because that's kind of how his deck's going to want to operate. And no matter what I attack with, it would just die to his Thoughtbound Phantasm. That was a bit of a misplay earlier. I wish I had that Kumena speaker back. Oh well. So he's doing this for the surveil bonus. He knows I don't have a hand. He's just going to surveil, which is going to pump up his Spy Bug, his Thoughtbound Phantasm, and he's going to gain 3. So, and I'm going to take 3 damage. But we got a bit of a game going on. I mean, this is the default Jungle Secrets deck, kind of going toe-to-toe with Dimir. It's kind of cool. We're literally one card away from victory. Just one. So let's make a 3/2 and a 3/3. And I'm not saving anything in my hand at all, just because I know he's gonna make me discard. He's got more of these neat little cantrips. I'm not gonna attack. I can hit him for 10 if I get my River Herald out. That's wonderful. So he could surveil me to death right here. Well, no, not the first. It was only the first time each turn. But clock's ticking, right? So I'm going to take... He's going to pay 2 life. He's going to gain 3 life. I'm going to take 3 damage. And all of his creatures are going to trigger this for surveilling. This is a healthy combo. Alright, really need something off the top here. This is it. Okay. One more turn. And that's gonna be the game. Let's see how this ends up playing out. I could have attacked, but he's got 7 blockers. I've got 7 attackers. and his blockers are much bigger than my attackers, so... Yep, Ocean Rain. So I'm going to take the 3, and then the flying is just going to end the game. Alright, so let's compare this to my version of the deck. So I'll show you guys what I would do a little differently. I think this deck plays out pretty good. Those 2 games probably weren't the best examples. But again, in both games I was 1 card away from victory. So that's Jungle Secrets. That's the way it comes. Hey, I'm getting some of my quests done, so that's pretty cool too. Let's do my version. Mermaids are real. Hopefully we can get some wins. I put in 4 dive downs. For 1 blue, target creature I control gets +0/+3 and gains hexproof until the end of the turn. That's terrific. There's so much removal right now. Every deck you run up against is going to have more removal than you have dive downs, but you can make them live for 1 turn and be happy about that. 4 Mist-Cloaked Heralds. I did 2 from each set just because it was a mistake. But these are 4 Mist-Cloaked Heralds, a 1 casting 1/1 that can't be blocked. 2 Spell Pierces, just in case you need to counter something. Early in the game, it helps out, or even like a late game. You know, who knows what, if they spend a lot of mana on something. You want just a couple Spell Pierces in there just in case. 3 Jade Bearers. This is the 1 green and 1/1. And whenever it comes into play, you put a +1/+1 counter on another Merfolk. Chart a course. 2 casting, draw 2 cards, then discard unless you attacked with a creature. This is a great combo with your unblockable creatures that you're always attacking with. 4 River Sneaks instead of 2. So River Sneak can't be blocked, so I stuck 4 of them in there. And whenever another Merfolk comes into play, it gets +1/+1. There's not as many Merfolks in this deck, so that doesn't always happen. But it's still nice to have more unblockable creatures. 3 Silvergill Adepts. This is great for card draw. 1 Deeproot Elite. I didn't make any more because it's too expensive in terms of wild cards. 3 Rabid Bites. This is cool removal. I could have got rid of his like Thoughtbound Phantasm earlier in that last game, or a Dimir Spybug. It's very useful. I kept the River Herald's boons. You want to make your unblockable creatures bigger. 4 Merfolk Mistbinders. I think it comes with 4, so I just snuck them all in there. Kept the Kumena, because he's pretty awesome. 2 Sleeps, 1 Tempest Caller, and a little bit less land. So I've got 9 islands, 8 forests, 1 Hinterland Harbor, and 4 Woodlands. So I think I'm running 23 land, but I can't math. So 22 lands even. Sometimes the mana's not quite there, but for the most part it works pretty good. So let's see how this deck plays in comparison to the default Jungle Secrets. But again, Jungle Secrets is pretty good. I like Mermaids Are Real though, because it gives me a few more options for the hard removal, for unblockable creatures. Card draw is important. I don't have any Curious Obsessions yet. I do plan on making those. And here we go. This is the ideal hand. This is everything I could have wanted right here. Oh no! Except for my land. But I'm keeping it. Rats. So I've got to slow down a turn, which is really stinky. Oh, and he's going to be exploring and gaining life. That's wonderful. I can slow him down just a little bit. I may be able to Rabid Bite. Well, we'll see what happens. I'm going to hit him with 3/3. If I happen to draw into a Jade Bearer, I'll be in business. Man, it's going to be hard to play catch up with the guy. No one blocking. Yep. Let's get the sneaker out. And we'll hit him for 2. Although he doesn't care all that much about his life total, because whenever he explores, he's gaining 3 life. This is going to be tricky to deal with. Non-creature, non-land. So he could duress me out of my Rabid Bite or my Chart a Course. I don't know what he should choose in that case. If you go with Rabid Bite or Chart a Course. Thought Erasure. This is interesting. Oh, there goes my Merfolk Mistbinder. That's terrific. Start blocking. There's too much damage to take. Alright, well, let's attack, and then we'll chart a course. This is why we have it. Wins are hard to come by today. That is the truth. There's no point in Rabid Biting anybody. I could Rabid Bite the Branch Walker and not take 3, but the damage is going to become a problem here pretty soon. So there goes the dive down, I bet you. Ooh, he takes Rabid Bite. I can't kill anything. Man, this is tough to deal with right here. It's a lot of pressure. Here comes, doesn't matter, River Sneak. He's at 24, so that's going to end the game. He's just going to be able to keep attacking. I could block for a turn. He eats up all my Merfolk, and then after that, he just wins the game. So let's try and do one more game with this deck and see if we can't squeeze out a win. Of course, I don't get the mirror match with with my version of the deck either. That could be why you don't see too many Merfolk decks out there. Although there's Merfolks in like Mono Blue Tempo. You know, not River Sneak. Mist-Cloaked Herald made it. Merfolk Trickster made it. Merfolk Trickster's kind of cool because you could remove the abilities and counters off creatures and then go to town. This is good. This is good. I'll keep it. So I'm going to use a Silvergill Adept next turn and reveal the Jade Bearer rather than Kumena, because I don't want him to know what to save his burn for. So then I get to draw a card. I'll reveal a Merfolk, this one, and hopefully we draw something like my Mistbinder that gets to stick around. Maybe a River Sneak. Oh, there we go. Got a River Sneak out of it. So I like this hand. And then I could drop my River Sneak and the Jade Bearer next turn. Hinterland Harbor goes down. Perfect. Beef up. There is an argument I could make to myself for not casting the Jade Bearer and saving my Hinterland Harbor for a dive down, right? So I could use my dive down to protect my Merfolks a little bit, but I didn't do that. So. Fire. See, it would have been good to dive down because that would have given him hex proof. But like I said, I didn't. So I'll do another Silvergill. Reveal Kumena. Okay, perfect. There we go. Got another unblockable. He will not attack. I will save my dive down for Kumena because he's too powerful. He's too important. This guy looks like he's a pretty smart player, so he might cook one of my Merfolks just to get him off the board. He's not going to. That's good. Now, I don't need to use his ability right away. I can block and then do it. I can wait till he shocks something, or wait until he spends some mana on some type of removal. I could see what his game plan is going to be first. I could dive down Kumena before I do anything at all. I could draw some cards, like in response to what he does. And I'm just going to do this now. I've messed this up before, which is a pain because you want to do this. I've got to tap them all. Wait, okay, now it's going to automatically select them. There we go. So let's see. Yeah, let's do it. I'm gonna tap all his creatures and then smack him for a bit. That's gonna make him upset, hopefully. And then what he's gonna do is come after Kumena, because now he sees the power of this card, and he goes, hey, wait a minute. That's not okay with me. Let's do... Why not a River's Rebuke? Actually kind of okay. So what a terrific draw. Now I get to put counters on my guy. Alright. Now we'll see if we can't recover from that. Rivers are big. That's really... Why do people play with cards like this? And I've got one protection. Okay, cool. Alright, so he's going to dive down in response to that. So now he's... I don't care what his health becomes. He gets hexproof. That's what we're waiting for. Is that awesome hexproof. And this is game. So he returned my Tempest Caller to my hand. He knows I have it. I'm going to tap all his creatures. Deeproot Elite's going to let me put a +1/+1 counter on a dude. So he knew it was coming. Like I said, I like Dive Down better in my Merfolk deck just because it gives me a chance to protect them. If I had one of my Spell Pierces, I could have protected them against the River's Rebuke. We'll do one more game and see if we can't squeeze out a win. Make some quest progress here. That's important to me. I'm trying to get that gold for those packs. Because I don't have any cards. I'm like a perpetually broke Magic player. It's 1995 again. Good times. This is good. Yep. Now the one green mana is going to slow me down a little bit. If these were dual lands, I'd be a lot happier. But I can River Sneak, and then on turn, turn 3 when I drop the Jade Bearer, he gets +1/+1 because I play the Jade Bearer, and then the counter goes back on him. So it'll be a 3/3. Then I'll be a 5/5. Then I'll River Herald's Boon him for a bunch. And he's unblockable, so he's a big fat target. We'll see if I can't draw some protection for him. He is going to get killed so bad with a cast down. Ha! You can't walk the plank. He's going to get Assassin's Trophy. There's another green mana source. I don't play that. Okay, cool. Alright, so now the question becomes, do I play... Oh, I'm not blocking. That's fine. I'm going to save my Rabid Bite definitely for later. I'm going to play both of these River Jade Bearers, rather. Target the Merfolk. Okay, it's a 3/3. It's a 4/4. It's a 5/5. And he's not blockable. So here comes a murder. Or Chupacabra. Awesome. Wonderful. Now if he attacks me with a Shaman, I can... Oh, there we go. Oh boy. Yep. And I'm not going to attack yet. His deck's going to overrun the whole board here pretty soon. I really need those unblockable creatures and some card draw. Especially if he starts getting into Saprolings and poison-tipped archers. Alright, so he's slowed down a turn. He may not have too much else to deal with here. Let's nuke that guy. And the reason I did that is because I want him to block with his Chupacabra. Hopefully he sees this Chupacabra is not very valuable, and I can dive down and protect my other Merfolk. Just to clear his board state a little bit better. Hopefully draw, get into some card draw here pretty soon, or some other good powerful Merfolks. One hit, here comes the Chupacabra. 5 for a Silvergill. Been there before. Boy, it's tough. It's tough out there, man. I don't know if that was such a good trade for me to make, but that's what I made. Really? Look at all this land. Oh boy. There we go. Oh well, he's gonna do the damage. He's gonna do the 1 damage to the river snake, so that's not the safest play right now. He's got his Orphan Assassin out. All creatures able to block Orphan Assassin do so, and it's got Death Touch. Now you look at that and you go, well, everything that blocks it is going to die. Not necessarily. He can only do the 1 damage to 1 creature, so he basically picks who dies out of the creatures who are able to block. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and take 5. I'll do it. Okay, chart a course. There we go. We'll attack with our Silvergill. He blocks with a skeleton. That's the right move, and now I can chart a course. I could River Sneak and Rabid Bite his Assassin and protect my River Sneak that way. And I've got the mana to cast a Dive Down. And I could sneak in for some unblockable damage. He's going to Chupacabra almost assuredly. And I'm looking at taking 8 damage again. And I'll be able to swing in for 1. That's fine. Let's let that resolve and wait till he targets a creature first, because I want him to... Yeah. Don't cast your protection in response to him casting the Chupacabra, because then it... Boy, I'm going to take 5. I don't know if this is smart or not. I don't think so. If you cast your protection in response to the casting of the spell, it's not as effective as if you cast it in response to him targeting the creature, because then he could have targeted my Jade Bearer, and I would be down a much needed blocker next turn. Of course. Why not? Oh boy. Alright, this is just going to be a tough day. That's fine. Right. I'm just destined to lose. That's totally fine. Good game. That's the quickest way to get muted. Thank you. Well, I like it. Although it's not super effective right now because of all the removal. It's just something you deal with. Kind of needing to attack with a bunch of creatures, so Merfolk was my choice for the day. Did get a good win in there. Sometimes you can sneak them in if it, if you get a decent draw and it's fast. Really, it's got to be fast because you don't get much blocking out of it, and you don't have. Doesn't end up being a very good tempo deck unless you draw into some sleeps or some Tempest Caller. So there you have it for Jungle Secrets. It's a fun deck. It's kind of a fan favorite, but it's hit and miss, and most of the time you end up playing against the mirror anyways, which that's a tough game too. So good luck out there. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.